everybody, SonGoshuaku here, live to rank every WWE Survivor Series WarGames 2025 matches. Alright, so we kick things off with number 4, Stephanie Vaquer versus Nikki Bella. Alright, so number 4, obviously ranking here, like I said in my review, I actually thought this was Nikki Bella's best match since she's returned to WWE, and a big part of the reason why is because Nikki Bella historically has always worked really well as a heel, and you see that on full display in this match here. You basically see that, you know, she's doing all the different heel tactics and everything, minus, of course, Brie Bella not being there to do the good old twin magic. But yeah, I thought this match really worked, and Stephanie, you know, works really great as a babyface, and you got to see a lot of that put on a strong display here dynamically between them, as opposed to had they been trying to do this match as like babyface versus babyface. You know, I remember back with Nikki Bella going all the way back to when they had her as like the sympathetic babyface that was kind of getting beat up every week, or at the shenanigans of Stephanie McMahon and Triple H during the Authority era, and eventually she ended up turning heel on her sister, because like I said, I think you can just always tell Nikki Bella works best as a heel. As far as this match goes, I thought the match was very quite quiet in a lot of spots, basically, where it seemed, as you can see as the graphic I'm using there, whether you're watching horizontally or down there vertically, you're seeing there the Devil's Kiss. That was like the superstar of the match. Like the audience, they were kind of like really quiet, you know, just watching the match. But whenever Stephanie would go ahead and grab Nikki by the hair and tease that Devil's Kiss along with Nikki Bella, the crowds are going like, oh yeah, let's go, and you know, they of course were doing the whole Booker T you know, type of thing, and stuff like that. Somebody actually on social media pointed it out that Nikki Bella, the way that she was selling it, they were saying that it might seem like Stephanie Vaquer likes to make sure that the wrestlers' arms or knees are landing a certain way, and the way Nikki sold it, which I thought, you know, visually it looked like Nikki Bella, her arms were lingering, her legs were lingering. It's like basically when Stephanie Vaquer is doing the Devil's Kiss, it's like basically Nikki was dead. Her body was just, you know, just going back there. It's like the Simpsons, honestly, that meme of the Simpsons where the kid's like, stop, she's already dead. That's the way Nikki Bella basically was selling it with her arms and her legs and stuff, and overall, so yeah, and then Nikki got the win, of course, with the corkscrew moonsault, and there you go. So like I said, while I thought it was Nikki's best match since returning, because she works as a heel, overall, this match did not do enough to stand out compared to our other next 3 matches to come on the list, which is why I had to rank it as the lowest match. But as I've been saying about Survivor Series, I don't think this was a great show, but I don't think it was bad either. I thought this show was solid and good, and that's what I'll say about this match. It wasn't, obviously you can tell by the ranking, not the greatest, but even though it is the lowest ranking match on this card, I did want to pull some respect to it, because I did think that the match was still fairly solid good overall, and that's why I ranked it at number 4. All right, our number 3 entry on this list is the Women's WarGames match. Rhea Ripley, IYO SKY, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, and AJ Lee versus Nia Jax, Lash Legend, Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Becky Lynch. So this match overall, yeah, certainly, as I mentioned in my review, I thought, honestly, if I was doing a ranking of the women's War Games matches over the years, which I always thought was like the most action-packed of the War Games, this one right here I thought fell short of the glory. I don't remember too many crazy like spots other than the one that I'm showing right there in the graphic. What was cool about this match, I think, was seeing some of the face-offs. So we got to see AJ Lee in there with Asuka, and that was really cool, because there was a point on commentary where Michael Cole was actually talking about how when it came down to Asuka, it was AJ Lee. It was in 2015. That was the year that AJ Lee actually had retired from just not WWE, but pro wrestling in general. And then that was also the same year that Kana came over from Japan to make her debut in WWE's NXT as Asuka, which we've known her now for the last decade. And that was really cool because Kana was actually one of the few wrestlers that I actually knew about before she came to WWE. I saw highlights of her before on the internet back when I was a teenager. So when she made her debut, I was like, oh, that's Kana. I know Kana. So it's really cool because I mostly only follow like the pro WWE and AEW and keep up with like the independent stuff from other podcasters and stuff, given my time as a content creator. So it was cool. And that's what makes it really cool, is the fact that, man, we're seeing some generations collide here. You get Asuka and AJ Lee going at it one-on-one. So it was cool to see them, basically go at it one-on-one. Another thing that was really cool, and I'm going to bring this up again in our next in a few moments right here as we get to our next couple of matches here, but we got to see Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair go at it in this match. Now that's something we've seen a lot of times, and honestly I reviewed their last woman standing match, which I thought was the #1 greatest match they've ever had, and I think I've reviewed their Survivor Series match as well. But what's really cool is that this was the first time that I could remember you have Becky Lynch as the heel, and she's organically getting booed by the audience. Then you have Charlotte Flair as the babyface, and she's organically getting cheered by the audience. You know, it was like when Vince McMahon was in charge, that was like one of his big things, trying to push the narrative of Charlotte Flair as the babyface and Becky Lynch as the heel. And now we've worked to a time frame where both women have reinvented themselves, and now the audience is going in that direction organically. And it's one of the more reasons I have to praise, not just for the outfit that Charlotte Flair was wearing there, as it was for a kid who unfortunately is having a tough battle right now in life. I think it was with with cancer or a tumor and everything, and that was gear that kid had designed, and Charlotte Flair paid tribute to that kid who was at ringside with her in that gear. And I was just mentioning, like, not only was that really cool of Charlotte Flair and everything, and I'm wishing the best for that little girl and her family as well, but it's really cool to just see Charlotte Flair. Even though I just got to watch SmackDown tonight, it's really cool to see Charlotte Flair as this new character, basically just, mainly being herself, dressing differently, being different than, I am, her being coming out there saying she's the queen and everyone bows down to her. It's like Alexa Bliss has been able to bring this more human side out of the Charlotte Flair character that we didn't know about, and fans love it, they dig it, and it's organically gotten over. And Becky Lynch as a heel, I think this time around has definitely been phenomenal with the promos she's been cutting and everything, compared to when she was booked as a heel promo a few years ago back with Vince McMahon. So it was really cool to see that, and I think that's what was cool. A lot of the different face-offs that we were getting here. I thought Lash Legend in this match looked phenomenal. Rhea Ripley, man, the way she was letting herself get ragged out, and Alexa Bliss, they both let themselves get ragged out by Lash Legend, and that's good because Lash Legend is one of the up-and-coming future, and I'm always about pushing the younger or newer talent, and that was really great to see. And take a quick water break here. And then, so getting back to the match here, what I really definitely enjoyed and really digged about that match is that it was really a showcase for Lash Legend. So for those of you who watched SmackDown, which happened a couple hours ago here, one of the things that Nia Jax said, and the reason why they turned on the Kabuki Warriors on SmackDown after this, she said, is because if it wasn't for Asuka spraying the mist into Lash Legend, she said we would have won. And I'm like, you know what? Facts. She's speaking straight facts right there, because in a storyline standpoint, Lash Legend was dominating all the women on the babyface side, and they were getting destroyed, and it really was the game changer for them because Asuka accidentally missed her in the face. Lash Legend, that is, you know, that changed the whole trajectory of the entire match, and we ended up getting to where the babyfaces were to make their big comeback. And I thought that was a good way. If you're not going to have Lash Legend be the dominant win over here, such as Bron Breakker and the men's War Games match, which we'll talk about a little bit later coming up here, then yeah, that's exactly what you do. You have her get taken out and make her not the de facto reason that they lost, and stuff like that, or at least indirectly, you know, she didn't get pinned or submit. So I thought that was really good. Then now that I'm thinking about it, there was some really nice storytelling aspects of this match. One of the things that I have to say that I really thought was cool, that they did here with I think it was in the match. I'm trying to think what part of the match was that. It was with after they took out Lash Legend, I think a lot of the big focus being on Becky Lynch and how she ended up basically getting along with AJ Lee, because she was staying very true to what she was saying and how she's going to be locked in the cage with her. And I love the whole idea that Becky was trying to keep her out and AJ Lee's climbing up there and everything and stuff like that. So that was really cool. There was some great stuff, I thought, with the chain, with Kairi Sane and Asuka wrapping them around. So definitely some good spots indeed, and everything. And of course the ending, like I said, I think the best part of the match honestly had to be what I always say is the most fun but nonsensical move, which is, as you can see there, the graphic, IYO SKY putting the trash can, which now had her name on it, jumping off of the steel cage, and this time doing a swanton bomb that took out the rest of the women and left Becky Lynch by herself. And this of course led to Becky Lynch getting basically teamed up by the baby faces. I think she got riptide, knocked down by Charlotte, and then eventually got the found herself in the submission of AJ Lee, the what was it, the Black Widow. And there you go, was it, yeah, the Widow's Peak or whatever, the Black Widow I think it was called. I'm forgetting it, but she ends up tapping out. And looking at it, I thought at the time when I first watched it, Becky was just going like, was verbally submitting, but yeah, clearly she's tapping out, but they're telling the whole story that she's basically crashing out about all this. And overall, yeah, I thought it was really fun. It felt like, you know, being used to reestablish AJ Lee. It felt like it was really establishing Lash Legend. So overall it was good. And that's the story. Now that I'm thinking about it, looking at Charlotte and Rhea Ripley, that's the story that I did like also going into this, is how Charlotte and Rhea, they didn't know, you know, would they be able to coexist with each other. But you know what? Charlotte, she ended up getting out of the way, and did she push Rhea? I forget if she pushed Rhea out the way or she dodged out of the way, and that's how Lash Legend ended up getting sprayed with the mist. So there was some little nice storytelling stuff, but from an action-packed standpoint, yeah, I don't think this was as action-pack heavy as some of the previous women's War Games matches. But that being said, overall, I still thought basically it was definitely more than enough to stand out from the other women's match that we had on this card. All right, number 2, the men's War Games match. So with this match, we had CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso, and Roman Reigns versus Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, and Brock Lesnar. All right, so this men's War Games match, I definitely kind of felt the action-packed side a lot more this year than the women's War Games match, which is why I had to put it at number 2. This match really relied heavily on its star power. There wasn't really any crazy spots and everything and stuff like that here, and there really haven't been too many, I think, crazy men spots outside. I remember I was there in person when JD came flying off the cage into an RKO. That was pretty crazy. But yeah, this was focused more on, like, you know, a lot of the story. I enjoyed it. It was Bron Breakker and CM Punk starting out, and I thought that match right there, that was a pretty cool matchup that you had starting out. And then the way they focused on CM Punk just getting dominated by the heels, that was good stuff. And then I liked that when you would have Cody Rhodes come in there and even the odds and stuff, that was good stuff. Jey Uso, yeah, Jey Uso, man. Jey Uso to me is the down part of this match. Not that I dislike Jey Uso, not at all. Just like I said in my review, I love Jey Uso. I've been following his career since him and Jimmy first debuted on the main roster, man. I was like in college at the time, so I thought right from the start of their entrance, I'm like, oh, okay, these guys are like a fun, exciting tag team. Then they got in that ring, and I'm like, okay, they definitely, I can confirm, are an exciting, fun tag team. And I've loved and respected how they reinvented themselves over the years and all that stuff. And the Yeet entrance, I'm down with the Yeet. Yeah, it was fun yeeting at the Royal Rumble when he won, but there is a time and a place for everything, ladies and gentlemen. And when the story, because I understand pro wrestling has to be fun and all that stuff, I understand, but here's my thing. When the story is war, and you're telling us these 5 guys hate each other, and this other group of 5 guys hate each other, and they're going to simulate war inside this cage match, you just don't go out there in the battlefield. Jey Uso was kind of bobbing up and down and kind of slowly running down there, and I'm like, help your teammates, help your teammates. And then when he gets in the ring and he finally clears house, instead of, you think the strategy would be to destroy everybody, make sure everybody is beaten down, all 4 of those people are down, because next up it's gonna be Brock Lesnar, dun, 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 and he is going to be a wrecking house and stuff like that. What's Jey Uso do? He climbs up the cage and just starts going ahead and yeeting and hanging on to the steel the steel beam or rope or whatever, or cable that holds down the cage for the War Games. And I'm like, yeah, this took me out of the match. So I mean, that was kind of like the only downer, but overall still, man, you had Logan Paul in there doing his athletic stuff, Drew McIntyre bringing the intensity, Bronson Reed coming in doing the big tsunami splashes. That was good stuff. And like I said, I love how Brock Lesnar came in and just annihilated all the shenanigans stuff with like Jey Uso and everything. Oh yeah, I should mention with CM Punk, when he came out to his entrance, I didn't mention this on my review. I saw that he had Larry's dog, but I didn't know why. And then I found out on Monday Night Raw that unfortunately, AJ Lee and CM Punk's dog Larry has passed away. So rest in peace. Anyone out there that's a pet owner, always hug your pets. Shout out to Gino on No DQ review this week, as he mentioned, their lives are shorter than ours. So if you have a pet, hug them tight and enjoy every moment you get with them. I know that pain. For those of you that followed my January 2024 post, my beloved cat Gizmo, rest in peace, always in my heart. He passed away, and yeah, that was tough and stuff and everything, but you carry on and you remember the great moments and joy that they brought to you. Even since then, I have a couple of new 2 cats and everything, and they're adorable and love them very much, but I never forget Gizmo. He stays in my heart, and I recommend that for anybody else when it comes to your pets and everything. And so, CM Punk, to go out here in this match, knowing Larry was going through that and still doing it. I saw where he clenched his jacket. Man, stuff like that, that was tough, but he went ahead and carried on through and stuff and still gave us performance. So, much respect. Like I said, I can't stress enough what these men and women do for the sake of our entertainment. It's not just what they physically put their bodies through, it's what they have to mentally go through, it's what they have to emotionally go through, man. So much respect for CM Punk. Shout out to DJ Booga, thanks for joining the chat, man. Hey, welcome to my WWE channel. Of course, pets are our children for sure. DJ Booga, I know you're a pet owner too, so yeah, we definitely know on that. But yeah, getting back to the matches here, man. CM Punk, I just thought was great. He was the one that busted open back, so got some color in this match. And when Roman Reigns came out there, it was sick, man. Roman Reigns and stuff. When he came out there, I love the whole spot where him and Brock Lesnar doing a face off. And this is what I was saying earlier about Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. For so long, Vince McMahon tried to go ahead and make it where, Roman's the babyface and Brock Lesnar's the heel, and the fans were just not accepting it at all. But once again, this always goes to the importance. I always say a little bit of character change goes a long way. And look at that, you made Brock Lesnar this babyface character for a while, and he's kind of, gone back to like being himself now, like, because they called it Cowboy Brock. You had Roman Reigns as the heel, and man, they just really reinvented themselves. And now that Roman's back to being the babyface, he's organically cheered and loved by the fans. And you got Brock Lesnar now organically getting booed by the fans. So it was great to see that, you know, Vince McMahon's vision of the babyface and heel dynamic the way he wanted to was now finally coming together here, but only, you know, because finally they took the time to you know, reinvent these guys and stuff. This is great. Like DJ Booga says in chat, yes, respect to CM Punk, and says OMFG, yes. Yeah, I know, finally we got there. And so yeah, I love the stare down when they were running down. Like I said, man, one of my favorite matches, I know it's during Austin's heel turn, there was an intense stare down where Stone Cold and Kurt Angle, they both were just mouthing off each other, and they started their match in the aisle, and they ran down and started going ham on each other, man. That was good stuff, and that's what I liked about it. And you know, talk about fun spots. I love that they did where Paul Heyman put the brass knuckles on Logan Paul, and Roman took them all and started Superman punching everybody with it. Like, that was good. Like, this match actually probably more than any other match on the show, which might sound surprising given that this is my number 2. This is my number 2 ranked match. This match definitely got me to hype. I was on the edge of my seat, like, let's go. Like, you know, like the star power really helped this match. So I like I said, I had fun. Like the women's War Games match, this is not to me the best men's War Games match, but I still had fun with it. I thought it was still good. Dude, they even got me with the Seth Rollins thing when the guy came out with the black all black on. I'm like, oh, did they get us again? They got us again, I'm thinking. But no, it was like I said, it's most likely gonna probably be Austin Theory, because obviously Seth Rollins still definitely much out with his injury. He's not, and like I said, you know, built wise, you could tell that, you know, that was not his physique and everything and stuff like that. But you know, they got CM Punk and then Bron Breakker, and this is more than anything is going to be the legacy of this match here. It's the fact that Bron Breakker hit the spear and got that 1, 2, 3 on CM Punk. Man, and stuff. Like DJ Booga says, yes, that couldn't have been Seth in the chat, definitely. But yeah, CM Punk takes the pinfall loss against Bron Breakker, and I'm like, you know, like I said with Lash Legend, I am all for pushing the younger talent and stuff. You know, CM Punk, man, he's been my favorite since I was a teenager. CM Punk, you know, I'm straight edge too, just like him, and met him 3 times. Really cool meeting him in person. But man, dude, this is the future. You gotta build for the future. Cody, Roman, Brock, you know, Roman Reigns, you know, what these guys have done in the business, great things. But, you know, 15, 20 years from now, who's going to still be here most likely in terms of being able to perform in the ring? Bron Breakker. So I thought that was good. And, you know, since we've passed Monday Night Raw, now's a great time for me to just mention, man, that promo that Bron Breakker cut on Monday Night Raw was good stuff, man. That was good stuff. The fire he showed, the passion he showed, the intensity in his eyes, and the way he was looking straight into the camera, which is some old school pro wrestling stuff. The way he was saying that and talking about how, you know, on the first Monday Night Raw of the year coming up in January 2026, or how that's gonna be like the first anniversary the first anniversary of the Raw on Netflix. Yeah, shout out DJ Booga in the chat, said yes it was. I know, phenomenal promo. I love it. I don't think they're gonna put the title on Bron just yet. I think they maybe want to wait till something bigger like WrestleMania. But dude, did the promo get me hyped? I'm ready. I'm ready to kick off WWE in 2026. And so this is what it's all about, man. This is what I'm about. I'm glad to see Bron get the spotlight here. So this match certainly helped pave the way, I thought, for the future. And that's what's really great. Not the best men's War Games match. Like I said, I would probably put it down there on the lower side if I looked at all the men's War Games matches, but nonetheless, this is still a good fun match. And yeah, as you can tell, I definitely got more excitement out of this match than I did the women's War Games match, which wasn't bad. It was good, but I thought this one was definitely better. All right, and now we have reached our number 1 spot on this list. Coming in at number 1, John Cena versus Dominik Mysterio for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. This match was Shenanigans City, and I gotta be honest, when I was in the moment watching this show, yeah, I'm thinking I'm probably gonna end up ranking this probably the lowest, because this match was just shenanigan after shenanigan. But this is one of the good things about taking the time to process things, and it wasn't too much longer. Like I said on the No DQ review, you know, and even before that, I got some time to process this, and overall, yeah, I had to put this at number 1. And ultimately, that's the thing. When I think of this show, what will this show most be remembered for? Obviously, this was John Cena's last PLE match, and I don't think this was nowhere near some of the bangers that John Cena's absolutely had over his 23-year WWE career. You know, like when you think of top 10 John Cena pay-per-view / PLE matches, yeah, I don't think this thing is even sniffing that. But that being said, this was great in terms of what John Cena did. First of all, the Judgment Day. You got to give it, I'll give it here to John Cena. You know, he really, I think, helped reestablish the Judgment Day. And if you look at where they're going on Monday Night Raw, it looks like they're going back in that direction of making the Judgment Day be a fixture on Monday Night Raw. It's like they're certainly going to make them taking back over Monday Night Raw. And John Cena, he basically was the victim of a 5-on-1 assault, you know, in this match, as Michael Cole was pointing out on commentary. But you want to think about memorable moments. What is a match going to be most memorable for? Thank you, DJ Boog. I see you agree in the chat. And what's really cool is you got to give shout out to John Cena. He gave these ladies in this match some really career-defining, memorable moments. Let's go to Raquel Rodriguez. John Cena let himself basically, and you know, a lot of top guys in his spot, you hear he was just on an interview recently talking about how so protective of spots guys were. So I don't know how many top guys, honestly, back then in his position would have wanted to go ahead and take the Tejana bomb from Raquel Rodriguez. But no, John Cena went out there. He's on his way out the door. He let Raquel go ahead and gave her a spot in this match through the Tejana bomb. That is really cool. This is a moment that when you look at Raquel Rodriguez's hype packages throughout the years, this is a moment that is going to be constantly be able to be shared. This is something she can brag about for her whole career, that she nailed her finisher on John Cena. That's a cool visual for Raquel Rodriguez. Then you have Roxanne Perez, who from my understanding grew up a big John Cena fan and everything, and right there, John Cena once again being very selfless in this match, basically to go ahead and agree to do a spot where Roxanne hits the Pac rods like the Destroyer on John Cena. Oh, another really cool defining career moment that will be able to be talked about for years to come when it comes to those women. And hey, JD and Finn Balor, they got to be in Cena's last Raw match. They got themselves some of the action here, so that's cool for them. And then I really love Liv Morgan. Cena put over Liv Morgan recently on one of these interviews he's done this week, where he said, hey, she did his own heel turn better than he did. And DJ Booga says, OMFG, yes, so hot. I know you like Liv Morgan and everything, but hey, Liv Morgan definitely is still a very, very beautiful woman and everything, and they put that on full display the way she came on out here, because yeah, she's a beautiful woman. And what's going on here you're gonna tell us that Dominik Mysterio has been fooling around, basically. At least that's the way they were kind of trying to make it seem like when you had with what they were teasing with her and Roxanne, and that's exactly where they left off. So you know, she goes ahead and smacks Dominik, and then she does the full body hug on John Cena, and she's smiling and stuff. And then the way they zoomed into the face, and she goes from smiling to that devious, sinister grin, just like John Cena did when he hugged Cody Rhodes. And then she gets off and kicks Cena in the balls and then hits him with the Intercontinental Championship. I love the callback, you know, even for something that's even less than a year old. I thought that was great. And once again, John Cena giving a really tremendous moment to Liv Morgan in there. And yeah, like DJ Booga says in the chat, that was so perfect. And then of course Dominik Mysterio hits the 619, as you guys can see right there in the graphic. graphic and hits the frog splash. Or did he hit the frog splash? I think he did, yeah. And then hits the 1, 2, 3 and becomes the new WWE Intercontinental champion. Doesn't become the championship title, obviously, but he becomes the champion. DJ Booga says, it was so epic. Hey, man, 0001, thanks for joining the chat, man. Yeah, it's cool. We got DJ Booga, the man 0001, two of my big time supporters. I appreciate y'all so much for coming in the chat. That being said, when it comes to that was really cool, and this is something that Dominik Mysterio as a heel can go and brag about for the rest of his entire career, because I definitely think he's gonna be one of the top guys coming in there. He can say, I beat John Cena and stuff, and man, 0001, I know, man. I can imagine your laugh going right now, like, yes, John Cena losing his final ever PLE match, so I know you're a happy camper about that. DJ Booga says his heel is so good right now. Yeah, man, and I'm glad that I was patient, and I was behind Dominik Mysterio from his early days. You know, a lot of people were saying like, oh, I don't think this guy's got what it takes, he's just there because he's Rey Mysterio's son, and I was like, you know what, I think the kid is good in the ring. In fact, man 0001, we did our SummerSlam, he was on a part of my SummerSlam 2020 review. Man, gosh, remember the pandemic days, wow. But yeah, SummerSlam 2020 review, and you know, I think he was saying on there how, you know, just because he's Rey Mysterio's son, you know, he's got to prove himself, you know, that it's just not because you're Rey Mysterio's son, because I think he mentioned how AJ Lee mentioned before, you know, it's not you know, the wrestling skill is not genetically or sexually transmitted and everything and stuff like that. But man, I started seeing, I was like, okay, he's good in the ring. I'm like, give the kid some time to develop his character, let him go ahead. DJ Booga says, yep, he started to doing really good character development. Absolutely, for sure. And you know, him joining the Judgment Day and him working with Rhea Ripley, you could see, man, that really turned the stuff. That video they did for Thanksgiving and stuff was good stuff. And Dominik has become so good as a heel, coming out, you know, with the entrance at WrestleMania 39 and the chains and stuff, and or you know, he was like handcuffed and everything, just good stuff. And Dominik has just become so confident, and I'm glad to see how far he has come, and I definitely think there's going to be a great babyface run in there for Dominik down the road for sure. And overall, that's what I really like about this match is, man, it did a lot for the future of the company, for the superstars that are still going to be there. I think Raquel Rodriguez has come a long way. She's on her way. Yeah, Raquel's on her way. I think definitely becoming a big force in the women's division ever since she took, you know, advice from Kevin Nash. Liv Morgan obviously has come a long way. Raquel, I think, you know, no, not Raquel, Roxanne on her way up there and everything. Just phenomenal, Dominik Mysterio. So I'm really glad that this match exists. And you know, I'm gonna say this, I really wanted John Cena to be in the men's War Games match because of the star power, and looking at the way things turned out, yeah, you know, I think in the end this does more to help push the future. It really does, you know. Like I said, Dominik is getting a big rub here. The women got a big rub here, and stuff like that. And like I said, even JD and Finn Balor got on the action. And if this means like the Judgment Day is going to get, you know, revived, you know, to becoming a more dominant force like they used to be on Raw, hey man, more props to what this match did for them. Please, let's get some new music though. Go back to the music they were using before, from that they had, was it the metal, my gosh, what was the theme song, what was the old Judgment Day theme song, I forget, was it like the Darkest Side theme, the OG one? I'm gonna look it up here. Let's see, the End, right? Was it the End? Yeah, the Judgment Day group theme song. What was it? Yeah, what was Edge's Judgment Day theme song? Gosh, I'm trying to remember this thing about being live on here. What was the let's see, OG Judgment Day theme? What was that? The Other Side. That's right, by Alter Bridge. Okay, yeah, because I knew it was the group that did Edge's theme song and stuff like that. Yeah, it was yeah, The Other Side from Alter Bridge. Bring that back. That was an awesome theme song. I loved it. Yep, thanks man, 0001. Yeah, The Other Side. That was some cool thing. I don't know what this is that Def Rebel created for them and stuff, man. But yeah, overall, I just thought that was good, and this match is something that I think really helped cement where we're going for the Judgment Day there and stuff like that. And that what leads us now. I just saw on SmackDown tonight, Gunther defeated LA Knight. They had LA Knight tap out, so any doubts that WWE is not behind LA Knight for pushing him towards the main event, that's submitted. They didn't even want LA Knight to get passed out. They had him tap out. So we're going to get the Ring General Gunther versus John Cena. And it's a shame that they couldn't do have John Cena do a promo, get some promo time between him and Gunther, but we'll see where that goes and all that stuff. I'll talk more about that obviously next weekend, but overall that was my number one pick, John Cena versus Dominik Mysterio, because it really did a lot, I think, for the individuals in this match that Cena did to help really put over. And so, yeah, overall, that's my ranking of all the WWE Survivor Series WarGames 2025 matches. Like I said, I don't think this was a bad show at all. A lot of people are calling it the worst Survivor Series ever. And yeah, man, I've seen some of those Survivor Series from the 1989s. I haven't seen every Survivor Series, but I watched a few of those in the 80s, and of course it's the second longest Survivor Series around. And I've obviously have watched all the Survivor Series from 1997, I believe, because I've seen the Stone Cold Bret Hart match obviously from 96, but I've watched all of them from 97 on up, at least a majority of them. I may have missed a few ones there in the mid 2000s, but yeah, with all the Survivor Series I've seen, no chance am I saying this is the worst Survivor Series ever. I don't think, definitely it's not the greatest Survivor Series ever. It was a solid, good show, and you know what? It's like I said, Triple H, with his time in NXT, some shows are going to be great, some shows are going to be okay or good, but I don't think we've seen a bad show. And I could say even during the Triple H's era, I'm a bigger fan of what Triple H did with his booking in 2002 to 2024. 2025 kind of been here or there, but I don't think it's as bad as some people have made it, calling it the ruthless depression era. I'm not saying that. There are definitely things that could be a lot better, but overall, and granted, the name does sound funny, but overall, I think you still getting some good shows and everything in here. Man, 001 in the chat said better than Survivor Series 2008 2010. Oh man, see, you can tell we're some old school wrestling fans and stuff like that and everything on there. Oh my gosh. All right, let's move on down here to the chat. I appreciate DJ Booga and man 0001 for keeping it engaging in the chat in here and stuff like that. And thanks for everybody who's tuning in live and going to be joining as well on stream. So let's go through some of these chats here before we sign off. Let's see, where did I leave? All right, man 0001 said at Survivor Series nonetheless too. F him, Cena sucks. I'm glad he's going. And high school Cena was the man, homie. The F happened to him. Ha ha. Oh man, 001, no fan at all of John Cena, and me and him been best friends since our high school days. So man, I definitely know his disdain for what the John Cena character has represented in WWE for most part. Actually, I think I'm going to have man 001 joining me next Saturday when I review John Cena's final match and everything, just because Cena's been such a big part of our friendship and bonding over wrestling over the years, for better or worse, where in terms of where the product was. Man 001 also says Dom is great. I always knew he had it. He just needed the right story. For sure. And you know what's really interesting looking back? Who would have ever thought, if you go back to SummerSlam, SummerSlam, in fact, you know what, because I'm gonna probably put this in here as a little extra nod. Let me go back here. I'm gonna add this in here for the on-demand version. Who would have ever thought that had you gone back to SummerSlam 2005 and you look at the roster and someone were to say, who's going to be the one that eventually is John Cena's final pay-per-view match ever, because we didn't know it was going to become PLEs, and someone says, I think it's going to be that kid right there, Dominik. The kid that Eddie Guerrero, rest in peace, and Rey Mysterio are both fighting over in terms of his custody. That kid's gonna be the final match ever? Well, fast forward 20 years later, wow. Incredible. Who would have ever thought, huh? John Cena indeed had his last match with that kid whose custody was being fought over back in SummerSlam 2005. That just shows you the wild rides, man. Just how wild things can get with pro wrestling. You never know. Who would have ever thought? All right, getting back to the chat though, but yeah, that was cool, man. Drew was one that you saw the potential in Dominik Mysterio early on. So yeah, man, me and you both. Cena had so many unearned title shots. I'm glad he wasn't fake ass wannabe soldier. Oh man. So yeah, I imagine we're gonna be doing retrospective. So yeah, you already know the man 0001 bringing the heat already on John Cena's unearned title shots. Yeah, he was handed that Intercontinental title, wasn't he? You know, just because it was his hometown and everything. So you're not wrong in terms of the storyline. They just handed him that title shot. Yeah, he and stuff like that. DJ Booga says, I forgot I was in terms of the other side. Appreciate y'all helping me out. Man 0001 mentioned the other side. The man 0001 says, remember Edge and Christian had theme songs that talked about the other side. You think you know me? Did they? The other side? Oh yes. When you, what was it? On the other side. Like, yeah, the Evanescence instrumental version of it. Yeah, technically you're right, man. And stuff like that. Yeah, Adam Copeland, Christian Christian been doing some phenomenal work in AEW. I know I don't review the AEW shows and stuff like that. But yeah, I try my best to keep up with the product on a weekly basis and everything and stuff. So yeah, Christian, Adam Copeland and stuff like that. Good stuff there. Man 0001 says the Despicable Me's Guru versus a washed up wannabe G.I. Joe. Appreciate you bringing the entertainment, man 0001 in the chats. He says it was better than Survivor Series 2008 and 2010. Yeah, man. Gosh, I think even to this day, even this 2025, I haven't seen Survivor Series 2008. And you're probably, I know over the years you've told me, man 0001, that you hate that pay-per-view with a passion. You did not like that one and all that stuff and everything and stuff. So I haven't still seen it. I think you said the standout and the match that stole the show was the women's Survivor Series match, a limited traditional Survivor Series match. So eventually, whenever I finally get around to being able to go back and watch all Survivor Series, I'll be interested to see that and things like that, which is something I think they should bring back. Just because it's War Games doesn't mean we can't at least have one traditional Survivor Series match. 2010, dude, what happened in 2010? I'm trying to remember what happened in Survivor Series 2010. Was it man, what was it? It's bad because I can't even remember. It was something with the Nexus, right? Oh, was that the match where if John Cena lost, then the Nexus, he had to join the Nexus? Was that it? Or no, that was when he was the referee against Randy Orton. Dude, I don't remember what big happened in Survivor Series 2010, so I guess that says a lot, right? Let's see. DJ Booga says, LOL, yeah, man, 0001 brings the heat all the time. Says, I would have said plausible. No, DJ Booga says, no fan of Cena, LOL. And Metro said one possible. Yeah, DJ Booga, you didn't know me or man 0001 back in our late teen, early 20s and stuff, and yeah, Cena was not a big part of it. Definitely not. I think I kind of turned a little bit on Cena in terms of like the respect factor and stuff like that, but we'll go over all that on our next live stream. Man 0001 says Dom, aka the 20-year vet. Yeah, technically, yeah, 20-year anniversary was SummerSlam 2025. So yeah, man been doing it for 20 years. DJ Boogan says he couldn't remember. The man 0001 says Survivor Series 2010. you had to struggle to remember my point exactly. It was Orton as champion versus Wade Barrett. Oh yeah, I remember that now, man. What was that though? The tag team where he was the referee, and if Cena won, which he did count him out, then he would be fired. And he gave this very emotional speech that had our boy, shout out to Lennox. He's like, you know, I respect Cena for that promo. He cut this very heartfelt promo, and it looked like it was gonna be the end. And then next night, he just shows right up, and Cena's like, well, the security don't like y'all, so I can just come and go as I please. Wasn't that when he was doing like the Quan Cena thing on the independent shows? Which was pretty funny. And I think they had like a Spanish cover of the Cena music. Yeah, man. 20 teens Orton, you know, that was phenomenal matches, but yeah, I was a bigger fan of what Orton character wise has done this decade and stuff like that. Man, DJ Booga says, oh snap, I'm about to pass out. Have a great stream. Hey, DJ Booga, thank you for joining. Yeah, make sure if you want to keep up with more of my WWE content, subscribe here. This is my WWE channel, keeping it separate from my Dragon Ball and voice acting and acting work and stuff like that on my main channel, and everything just helps the algorithm being able to see a better focus and stuff like that. But hey, I thank you so much for joining the chat and everything. But yeah, I'm probably about to go ahead and sign off from here too, man. 0001, thank you. Look forward to you coming on next, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, as we discuss John Cena. So yeah, let me talk about the plans here as far as the John Cena the stream's gonna go. So the way we're gonna do this is we're going to first go ahead and review the final match of John Cena, which we now know is against Gunther, and then we're going to go ahead and review, basically just look back on his entire final year. I've already talked in depth about the heel run on this channel, so check out that video. But in terms of just the overall final year, we're going to look on it, just some of the conversations I've already had with the man 0001. I know he's going to have a lot to say about the disappointment for him that Cena's heel turn was. Like I said, it was disappointing for me too, but I still enjoy what good we did get out of it, and that we got it at all. And then when we're done looking at the final year, we're going to go ahead and do a retrospective of his entire career, just looking back and talking about our thoughts on Cena during the era. And I wanted man 0001 to be there with me, just because like I said, it was a big talking part of us growing up as teenagers. Me and him both grew up in the new generation era and then attitude era and all that stuff from the 90s and stuff. So like, oh yeah, we were there quite a bit while before John Cena came onto the scene. So yeah, that'll be next Saturday and all that stuff, the following Saturday, and things of that nature. And man 0001 says, I already knew the heel turn was going to be crappy. And all that stuff. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to discussing all this with you in the following the Saturday after next and stuff like that. And lastly, little just guys, you know, because you guys will probably notice I got the Dragon Ball Son Goku tank top. If anyone here is new to my WWE channel, I have a whole other main channel where I have my Dragon Ball stuff on there. So if you're a WWE fan and a fan of Dragon Ball, check out. I'm currently live streaming Dragon Ball Sparking Zero and stuff like that right now on the channel. And I got more big Dragon Ball podcasts that's already up on the channel, and more to come, along with all my voice acting and filmmaking stuff. So certainly thank you everyone who came out tonight. Really appreciate y'all joining in the chat, watching live, or even if you're watching on demand. So that being said, I will be back for the review of John Cena's final match, final year, and retrospective of his entire career. In the meantime, you can go ahead and follow me on my social media platforms right there on the screen, and as well in the description and pinned comment below. Until next time, guys,